1.27 trillion. That's how many queries the graph has served. Over 75,000 projects depend on it, across more than 60 blockchain networks. It is, quite literally, the data backbone of Web3. And yet, the GRT token is down more than 99% from its all-time high. It trades around 1.5 cents. The market cap is roughly $155 million for infrastructure that processes billions of queries every single quarter. That is one of the biggest disconnects in all of crypto. Massive, undeniable usage, and a token price sitting near all-time lows. So today, we're going to answer the only question that actually matters. If usage keeps exploding, especially now that AI agents are becoming the biggest new consumer of blockchain data, does any of that value actually flow to the GRT token? Or is this a great protocol, attached to a token that captures nothing? Stick around, because the answer is genuinely more interesting than you'd expect. And it involves AI agents, a $2 quadrillion financial institution, and a token overhang most people have never heard of. Quick disclaimer before we dive in. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. This is an analysis of how value flows through a protocol, not a price prediction. Those are two very different things. Always do your own research, and never invest money you can't afford to lose. So, what is the graph? Here's the simplest way to think about it. Blockchains are terrible databases. Every transaction ever made is technically public, but it's stored in a format that's brutally hard to search. Asking a blockchain a simple question, like, show me every trade this wallet made across 5 different protocols, would require you to scan millions of blocks, one by one. It's like having every book ever written, dumped in a warehouse, with no index, no catalog, and no search bar. The graph is the search bar. It's often called the Google of blockchains, and honestly, that's fair. Developers create something called a subgraph, which is basically an open API that organizes blockchain data into a clean, searchable format. A decentralized network of node operators, called indexers, does the heavy lifting, indexing that data and serving it up instantly. When an app on Ethereum, Arbitrum, Base, or dozens of other chains shows you your balance, your trading history, your NFTs, there's a very good chance a subgraph delivered that data. And this isn't some niche tool. Major DeFi protocols depend on subgraphs every single day. When the network's hosted service was retired back in 2024, all of that traffic was pushed onto the paid, decentralized network. Real apps, paying real query fees, to a decentralized network of independent operators. That's the business. Now here's where the story gets a serious upgrade. Because for years, the main customer for blockchain data was a human being looking at a screen, a dashboard, a wallet interface, a charting site. And humans are forgiving customers. If your portfolio tracker shows a number that's 30 seconds stale, nobody gets hurt. But the customer base is changing. And the new customer is not forgiving at all. AI agents are becoming a primary consumer of on-chain data. Not humans reading dashboards, software agents that make decisions and execute transactions on their own. And that changes everything about what blockchain data has to be. Because an interface can tolerate a stale number, but an agent that acts on a stale number can lose real money. When the output is a transaction instead of a chart, probably current, stops being good enough. We just got a live look at this shift. In July, the graph sponsored $15,000 in prizes at ETH Global Lisbon, one of the biggest hackathons in crypto. 10 projects won. And when you look at what independent teams built under time pressure, a very clear pattern shows up. The winners weren't building toys. One team built an AI security agent that streams every block in real time and flags suspicious wallet behavior before an exploit drains a protocol. Another built a system for pharmaceutical cold chain shipments, where tamper-proof sensor data settles payment disputes automatically. Another built a wallet scanner that checks your token approvals against a registry of documented hacks, and hands you the exact transaction to revoke the dangerous ones. My favorite one, though, was a hotel booking gateway for AI agents. Think about this problem for a second. When an AI agent shows up to book a hotel room on someone's behalf, the hotel has two bad options. Treat every agent as a fraud risk and demand full prepayment, or trust them blindly and get exploited. This project solved it by reading the agent's wallet history through the graph, how long the wallet's been active, how often it transacts, how much it moves, and adjusting the deposit terms based on reputation. Not the price, just the risk terms. That's on-chain history being used as a credit score for machines. And it only works if the underlying data is structured, live, and verifiable. And across all 10 winners, 3 things kept repeating. First, standardized data schemas. Teams wrote one query that worked across Aave, Compound, Spark, entire categories of protocols at once. Write once, query everything. Second, provenance. These agents refused to act on data they couldn't verify was fresh and authentic. Stale data didn't just get a warning, it blocked the trade entirely. And third, real-time streaming. Because a security guard that shows up 5 minutes late isn't a guard, it's a witness. Notice what all 3 of those have in common. They're exactly what the graph has spent years building. This wasn't a coincidence, the hackathon was a preview of the demand curve. And the graph is leaning into it hard. In June of this year, they released MCP servers and agent skills, which basically let AI models like Claude and ChatGPT query on-chain data in plain language. Before that, in May, they launched an X402 payment gateway, which lets developers and AI agents pay for data queries directly over the internet, per query, using stablecoins. No account setup. No subscription. An agent hits an endpoint, pays a fraction of a cent, gets verified data. That is machine-to-machine commerce, and it's live right now. All of this sits on top of the biggest protocol upgrade in the graph's history. Horizon, which went live in December of 2025. Horizon transformed the graph from a single product indexing protocol into a modular platform where many different data services can plug into one shared security and payment layer. And the 2026 roadmap is stacked. A token API running across 10 networks. Substreams for real-time data streaming. Tycho, a liquidity data service for DeFi solvers. And the big one. AMP. A blockchain-native, SQL database built for financial institutions, with audit trails, data lineage, and compliance features baked in. Why does the institutional angle matter? Because the DTCC, the organization that settles over $2 quadrillion in securities transactions every year, has already experimented with graph technology in a project called the Great Collateral Experiment. The DTCC is possibly the least experimental institution in global finance. When they kick the tires on your infrastructure, that is a signal worth taking seriously. So the usage story is real. The AI thesis is real. Institutions are sniffing around. Now for the hard part, the question this channel always asks. If usage 10x's from here, what actually forces someone to buy the GRT token? Because usage without value capture is just a donation to node operators. Let's trace the flows honestly. Flow number 1, staking. Indexers must stake GRT as collateral to serve data and earn rewards. Delegators lock up GRT behind them. Under Horizon, this staking model extends to every new data service. Token API, Tycho, AMP, all of it. More services, more work, more GRT locked as economic security. That's real demand, and it scales with the platform. Flow number 2, burns. A portion of every query fee is burned. There's a curation tax and a delegation tax, both burned. When query demand is strong, those burns can offset most of the network's token issuance. That's the flywheel the bulls are counting on: more services, more fees, more burn. But now the headwinds, because this channel doesn't do one-sided analysis. Headwind 1: Issuance. The protocol mints roughly 3% new GRT every year to pay indexing rewards. If fee burns don't keep pace, holders get diluted. Right now, burns do not fully offset issuance. That's just the math. Headwind 2: The overhang. The second largest GRT wallet is a token lot contract that distributes large allocations every single month to early backers and contributors. That's a steady stream of potential sell pressure, and it's a big reason price has stayed decoupled from usage growth. This isn't a scandal, it's in the tokenomics, but most holders have never looked. Headwind 3, and this is the subtle one. That shiny new X402 payment gateway for AI agents? It accepts stablecoins. Which is brilliant for adoption. Agents don't want to hold a volatile token just to buy data. But it means the connection between AI usage and GRT demand runs through the protocol's plumbing, how fees get converted, distributed, and burned, rather than agents buying GRT directly. The design intent is that service fees still drive staking demand and burns, but the strength of that link is the single most important thing to verify as these services scale. One more piece of context before the verdict: competition. The graph isn't the only indexing game in town. Centralized providers like Alchemy offer polished APIs, and newer protocols are chasing the same data market. The graph's mode is decentralization plus network effects: 75,000 projects, a global set of independent indexers, and now standardized schemas that make switching costs real. But moats only matter if the token connected to them captures value. Which brings us to the verdict. So here's my honest read. The graph is arguably the most undervalued piece of infrastructure in crypto, on a usage basis. $155 million market cap for the data layer serving 75,000 projects is genuinely strange. But the market isn't stupid, it's pricing in dilution, the unlock overhang, and uncertainty about fee capture. The token has been trading like a bet on DeFi sentiment, not like a claim on query revenue. What flips that? 3 things to watch. 1. Paid query revenue growing faster than issuance. That's the moment net inflation goes negative and the flywheel actually spins. 2. AMP and Tycho landing real institutional customers, because enterprise contracts are sticky, recurring demand. And 3. A flagship AI agent use case that runs on the graph at scale, the kind of thing those hackathon projects were prototypes of. If those show up, today's price will look like a historic mispricing. If they don't, GRT stays what it's been: incredible technology with leaky value capture. Either way, now you know exactly what to watch, instead of just watching the price. If this breakdown helped you think more clearly, hit subscribe, because this is part of my ongoing series on the infrastructure powering the AI and crypto convergence, and the next ones are already in the works. Drop a comment with your take: is GRT a mispriced asset, or a value trap? Remember, it is never too early, and never too late, to start building wealth. See you in the next one.